Hey, come on in, family. What's going on? Come on back, fam. Come on in. Yeah, this is completely unplanned, impromptu. I said, let me check in with Soul Group. Everybody seemed to be online today. But I wanted to say something to you. I want to share something with you before I begin my 5 o'clock lesson. Hey, Donna, what's going on? So, earlier, I think it was maybe Thursday or Friday, I was speaking with one of my mentors. And, hey, good to see you, family. Come on in. Good to see all of my family, Facebook family, YouTube family. But yeah, I wanted you to think about this. So I was talking with one of my mentors, and we were speaking in regards to spirituality, not religion. If that's the way that you find your spirituality, I dig it, all right? But we were talking about being in tune, being in harmony with the universe. You know, that's the type of spirituality that I'm talking about. And oftentimes I put things on my social media platform, whichever one it may be, and sometimes it seems like it just goes right over people's heads. And I'm like, whoa, I thought he'd get that. But it seems to go over their head and they don't quite get it. And talking to my mentor about this, and he's like, he said, Sifu, if the mainstream actually understands what your message is, if the mainstream understands that, he's like, think about it, brother. He said, your message has to be pretty weak, pretty low vibrational. And I had to think about that. I'm like, that makes sense. So if the message, hey, come on in, Soul Group. If the message is not low vibrational, coming from the lower Dantian, the lower chakra, and not coming from anywhere above, the spiritual centers higher, right? We've got to open the heart, right? If it's not coming from a higher place, they're not going to get or understand your message. We're talking about mainstream and their lack of understanding for spiritual messages. It makes sense. So if my message is so weak, they'll get it. They'll get it. They'll get something coming from a lower place. They'll jump right on that. So it's starting to make sense. So I say that to say this, family, because their DNA, because they're not doing the work that we're doing, family. They're not putting in the work that we're putting in. I understand that. It makes sense. They're not putting the right foods in their bodies. They're not putting the right information in their bodies. I get it. So their DNA is simply not mature enough to understand their own true nature. I get it. The DNA is immature. So they're still hung and caught and holding on to their humanity. Humanity operates from the lower realm. We're all humans, but you have to understand the dialect, the dialogue, the jargon that is being used when I say they're relying on their humanity. When I say that, I'm talking about all physically attracted attributes. Things you can touch and smell, you can see, you can hear. They're all about the physical, not the invisible. So they don't know anything about the invisible. It has to be tangible for them. And all of that is ego-based. It becomes part of their personality. We all have an ego. I'm not talking about an alter ego. To me, ego is just self-identification, dealing with the persona, the personality, the you, the I, the him, the her. But the real I has no face. The real I, the super powerful, spirit that dwells inside of everyone, the oneness, it has no face. That's the real power, not the false humanity. You see, now, when I start talking like this, Soul Group will get it, because this is the jargon that we speak on this spiritual journey. And if you're immature on your DNA, you're not going to get it. It's nothing I can do to dumb it down. It's nothing that can be done to dumb it down. You're either ready for it or you're not. And we'll all get there at some point, hopefully. Hopefully. All of us, because everybody's not going to get it. Because this is a spiritual journey. It's solo. It's solo. Nobody can do it for you. And see what happens. This is where people fall off, see. It gets lonely out here. It gets lonely on the spiritual journey. That's part of it. You see, so if you're not used to being in isolation, I say isolation, confined in your own space, inside of this body, sitting still, always got to be reaching and grasping outside of yourself, have to be entertained, the spiritual journey is going to be a rough roller coaster ride for you, because you're going to always feel lonely. I don't feel lonely because I love being by myself, because I love myself, but not in an arrogant way. Everybody has to have self-love, but people don't know what love is anymore. They have no idea, because they have no idea how to open the heart, you see, because there is an apocalypse of the heart that's taking place right now. And when I say heart, not the physical heart, but the heart that makes the heart beat, the heart chakra, the heart behind the heart. The heart space has to open. And when you open that, then you can come from a spiritual realm and be who you really are. Now, when I say you, I'm talking to me, because we're reflections. Nobody's excluded, family. We're all family. We're reflections. And oh, yeah, I love you, family. So I'm just going to tell you, family, beware. Because being spiritual in our everyday life, wanting to do the right thing, we sometimes think that everyone is doing that. But it's not that way, family. So just as much as we wish for good, there's some, I won't say people, there's some forces wishing for bad. That's just the way it is. That's this right here. That's the sign. That's the yin yang. There'll always be and there'll always not be. Yin yang. Society is starting to, or always has, just because of the way that society is set up, it retards the process of spiritual elevation. It retards that in so many ways. The food with the chemicals, all of that stuff starts to build up toxification and oxidize our cells. Cells cannot communicate the way that they should. If the cells cannot communicate the way that they should, the DNA cannot open. And then they will begin to classify it as being junk DNA. There is no junk DNA. It's just been rocked to sleep for thousands of years. This DNA is very old, family. We can wake up, and that's what's happening. Humanity is starting to wake up in a large capacity right now. The numbers is huge. And we're getting our power back. But anyway, I just want to drop that on you, family. Why are individuals not getting your spiritual message? They're not ready for it. That's the whole crux of this video. Mainstream is not going to get it. If they get it, your message is coming from a very low place. Keep that in mind, family. Right back at you. Peace. Sifu Lester, I love you all. Stay healthy. Remember, health is wealth. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled, family. Health is wealth. Without it, we have nothing. Ask my friends who's been through some health trials and tribulations. Ask them. Ask some of my seniors that having struggles in their elderly age. Ask them. We want to age well over here at Tai Chi 360 family. That's our motto, to age well. So we do all that we can to keep our mind healthy, our body healthy, and elevate our spirit to the level where it should be and where it was supposed to be, with or without this society. Talk about being in tune with nature, family. Peace. I'm out.